Hi, I'm Rachel from the Entrepreneurship Institute, and we're here to share with you a series of short films about the 7 skills of an entrepreneurial mindset. In this video, we're going to be talking about the skill to validate, and I've got with me the Head of Careers, Daubney, and Tobias Whetton, who's the CEO of Supernotes.
Thanks, Rachel, and welcome to Tobias. So, tell us, Rachel, how do you define the entrepreneurial skill of validate?
Validate is about setting your bias and assumption to one side and being really objective about the way that you test and validate your ideas. So it's about bringing on other people into the fold, questioning, staying curious, and allowing the evidence that you find to guide you as you go through that process. So you end up, rather than with your own opinion being the way that you bring other people on board, it's evidence driven, so that you can make sure you're going in the right direction. How would you think that skill, hearing my definition, would be relevant to the students and alumni at King's?
So I think there is something about being really comfortable with data and with evidence. And I think within that, there's something about curiosity. You're actually curious about what's happening, what are you learning, particularly from other people you might be working with. And in the workplace, an employer wants to know that you're curious about the clients that you might be working with. I think there's also something about your ability to explain things to someone who maybe doesn't understand the problem or the situation or the concept from the same point of view as you. So there's an empathy element there and the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and perhaps present evidence in a different way, or maybe unpack some technical language that they might not have used or heard before.
It's really true, and I think in terms of entrepreneurship, we're very used to testing assumptions because that's how you're going to know whether your business works, right?
Exactly.
But it's a skill that we can extrapolate and anyone can use to make sure that they're guiding their projects or the things that they're working on in the right direction. So now, Tobias, you're going to tell us a bit about a problem that you solved whilst you were revising at King's.
Yeah, so I was having a terrible time revising because currently you're overloaded with information. You have your information on PDFs in the cloud, you have bits written down, you have screenshots everywhere. I was communicating with my friends over WhatsApp and Facebook, and there was no way to really learn and take notes together. And so I was really upset about this consolidation, so I decided to act on it, and I wanted to create a great solution for it. So I put everything in a single web page. So all of the PDFs, everything, wrote it all from scratch and put it in one web page so you could access it anywhere from any device. And then I gave it to my friends, and I was like, oh, you can have it for free. I enjoyed making it, I hope it's useful. And I was completely blissfully unaware what I was doing. I was an inventor, I love creating products. And I was solving a real direct problem because everyone ended up using it in my class, and then they started to give it to their friends in other universities. And by the end of the month, we were having 1,000 users on this platform. And I was just very happy with the fact that people were using it. I wasn't really thinking, oh, there's a business idea here. So this was really exciting for me, and being able to find that root of the problem. And my co-founder had a similar difficulty. He basically didn't like the way that all these files are everywhere as well. And so he wrote an automated script to pull everything and put it onto Dropbox in one click of a button. So he didn't have to worry about having to go and constantly consolidate his information. And we then came together to create what Supernotes is now. So if a student wants to see all the different definitions from the whole module, they can do that in one go. If they want to see the way of, I want to see all my maths equations if they're an engineering student, or they want to see all of the summaries they've done over the last 3 months, they can see that all alongside each other. And that's incredibly powerful and not something that's been done before in note-taking. And so it's really exciting that we developed something from a real problem and then came out with a solution and developed that further through the King's Accelerator.
Well, there's some other pieces of feedback that you received, some evidence from students that made you think, actually, here is a problem we hadn't anticipated and that we really need to solve.
Yeah, so there's been multiple feedback from students. Students constantly want features, and that's something that we've had a real problem with. And it's really hard because you'll often have to, you want to be able to build this thing, and you want to be able to incorporate everyone's, problems and help them. But you don't have that much time. You have to focus on the ones that really provide the greatest value. And that's something that's been probably the hardest in our journey, is making sure that we focus time on the real key problems.
Did you have any assumptions going into when you started building Supernotes that surprised you when you asked other people about it that didn't end up being what you thought originally?
Oh yeah, completely. So when we started, we were very much trying to mirror the idea of a learning management system. So something like Keats, Moodle, Blackboard. But then we realised that was constricted because you could only write note cards within a certain location on the platform. One of our users was really frustrated about this and gave me some very, critical feedback. And I in the first instance, I was quite, taken aback. I've spent hours and hundreds of hours on this platform, and then this person just doesn't get or you've built, and it's really frustrating because but you've got to take it on board and actually incorporate that, because if you don't listen to your users, if you don't listen to your customers, you won't provide a great product for them.
So now that you've launched the business, is validating done?
No, it's never an ending process. So we constantly have our customers talk to us. We really engage with them. We run workshops as well with our customers, so how to be procrastination workshops, and that's really good because it allows us to really talk to our users and understand what the real problems they're facing. And I think you can never not stop gathering feedback, otherwise your system will die away if you constantly improve upon it and reiterate on it.
Thanks very much. Okay, so from talking about validate, we've had our definition, we've had our live example. If someone wanted to develop the skill of validation, how would you recommend them going about doing that?
So I think it's really about learning to synthesize your point of view with someone else's. You've just given a really good example of the importance of using the feedback that you get, but that's a skill to try and bridge that gap and also to pull it together.
Yeah, and so I think you should definitely try and trial your idea, because it's always proof in the pudding. So, and there's this process called mechanical turking, where you can literally just create your service or whatever you have as in as small amounts as possible. So think of a vending machine. Imagine you're in a cardboard box handing out sodas and sweets, and you're demonstrating that people would like that idea, and so then you can build a vending machine. So you've really got to show that this is actually a product that will work in a real scenario, not just in your head. And from there, I think that's a brilliant way to start with validation.
And from my point of view, the Entrepreneurship Institute has loads of resources about how you can develop this skill, so you can find us on Keats for that. Thank you for tuning in to this video as part of our 7 Skills series. If you want to join the discussion and connect with us, you can find us at King's Entrepreneurship Institute and King's Careers and Employability.